Hey gamers! Being a kid in the 80s and early 90s, I grew up playing in the arcades. And at the time, the home consoles didn't have near the hardware power of the arcades. Today, we no longer see arcades because the home consoles, they already have 4K and the games have modernized to other directions. But because I'm stubborn, I bought an arcade machine to have at home, with thousands of games, and I play it many times, sometimes alone and also in co-op with my little son. So today in this video I'm going to rank my favorite arcade games that I used to play when I was a kid and that I still play today. So let's start. Last Blade 2. Last Blade 2 is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated games ever. At the time of the release of the first one in 1997, SNK already have so many fighting games, and the 3D fighting games such as Virtua Fighter and Tekken were new at the time in the home consoles, and this game went unnoticed. This is a samurai showdown with combos. The gameplay, the mechanics and the combo possibilities are so many, the characters are so good, the game have a wonderful story, the music is one of the best in any arcade game, and the graphics inspired by the feudal Japan are gorgeous. So, if you like fighting games and never played this one, make yourself a favor and play it. Metal Slug 5. I love all Metal Slugs, as you can see in my previous videos. The reason I prefer 5 over the others is because of the music. And despite the last boss is a big demon, the game don't have zombies, mummies, aliens, that personally I don't like very much in other games in the series. Because in my opinion, when we transform into a zombie or a mummy, our character becomes very slow, and that's damage the gameplay. The Kings of Fighters 98. I don't like that much 3-on-3 fighting games, but it's impossible not to love this one. It was advertised by SNK as a special edition of the series. The game does not have a storyline, instead it was developed as the Dream Match, with all the characters from all the previous Kings of Fighters, including characters that were killed in the storyline. So we can choose more than 40 playable characters. Since this game did not have a storyline, SNK decided to return Rugal as the boss character. That was not a surprise, because he's the only character who truly represents the ultimate Kings of Fighters boss. In the additional, some of his special moves were redesigned that made him the strongest version of Rugal at that point. Really about Fatal Fury 2, another SNK game. I love the Fatal Fury franchise, and Terry Borgett is by far my favorite character in any game. I also love the Mark of the Wolves, but I prefer this one a little bit more, because it have all the old Fatal Fury characters that I love. The gameplay is great, the combos are insane, the super moves are one of the best in any fighting game, the music, as almost every SNK game, doesn't disappoint. And I remember I didn't let go the game until I made the ending of all the characters. Shadow Dancer. I love ninja games, and Shadow Dancer is my favorite in the arcades. I also love the first Shinobi that was also released in the arcades, but in my opinion Shadow Dancer is a little better. Although the gameplay in both games is very similar, the biggest change is that now we have the help of a dog, and instead of rescue hostages, we have to disable bombs. And although Shinobi is a great game, I prefer the level design, gameplay, music, the enemies and bosses in Shadow Dancer. The Punisher. I did a top 10 of my favorite side-scrolling beat-em-ups recently, and I put Punisher in number 4. We play as Frank Castle or Nick Fury, and we must kill the Kingpin and bring down his organization. Both characters have the same moves, and we have many moves at our disposal. as well as a ton of weapons to pick up. The weapons are very useful and we are much stronger with most of them. We can jump and throw grenades that hit all the enemies on the screen. And although the game have only 2 playable characters and only 6 levels, the enemies, the bosses and special the gameplay pays off. This is one of the games that I finished more times in my arcade machine, both in single player and co-op. Samurai Showdown 2. Who doesn't love Samurai Showdown? I love everything about this game. Fighting with weapons, the amazing cast, being Amaru, one of my favorite fighters for any fighting game. The gameplay and the outstanding, amazing, stunning, mind-blowing music. This time we can choose between 15 playable characters. Most of them are still today among the best in any fighting games. Characters such as Amaru, Jubei, Yuki, Galfor, Anzo, Charlotte, Nakororu, among others, also introduce new mechanics and a easier and refined gameplay. The quality of this game is timeless. This game is almost perfect, and it is impossible not to like it. Alien vs Predator. This is my opinion the best Capcom side-scrolling beat'em up. And it's a shame that was never ported for a home console, not even in the Capcom arcade collection. We can choose between 4 playable characters, 2 predators and 2 soldiers. It have one of my favorite characters in any side-scrolling beat'em up, Lieutenant Lin. We play with 3 buttons, punch, jump and fire, that we can fire a couple of bullets before we have to reload or refill our weapon. The action is non-stop, the aliens are super fast and sometimes are so many enemies on the screen that we don't even have time to breathe. Sunset Riders. I love the Wild West, Western movies and arcade games since I was a kid, so I have it all in this game. The gameplay, as almost every arcade game, is simple and fun. We only have 2 buttons, shoot and jump. The game is short, we take maybe 25 minutes to finish. The gameplay is one of the best in any arcade game, especially playing in co-op. And the music is so good and so catchy that sometimes I listen when I go to the gym. This is a game that I strongly recommend, but in my personal opinion, the only version worth playing is the arcade version, because the Genesis version is really bad, and the Super NES is also not as good as the arcade. But finally, in 2020, the arcade version was released for both the Nintendo Switch and the PlayStation 4. Super Street Fighter 2. I love Street Fighter 2 The World Warrior, the Champion Edition and the Upper Fighting, but Super Street Fighter 2 is my favorite. This time we have 4 new playable characters, Kami, T-Hawk, Fei Long and DJ, new moves and special moves. Ryu have for the first time the Fire Hadouken and Ken the Fire Shoryuken. The 4 bosses have new normal moves, just like the rest of the cast, and the gameplay is more polished than ever. Even today, after almost 30 years after release, many pro players still play this game, and we still have Super Street Fighter 2 tournaments all over the world. Many modern fighting games are forgotten after 2 or 3 years, but this game is eternal in the hearts of the players, because the gameplay is so simple and perfect that it is impossible to improve more. Of course that the later games in the series have new mechanics, super moves and ultra moves, parries, triggers, but this one continues to be one of the best for the simplicity and for the outstanding cast. Because in my opinion, it is the only Street Fighter that doesn't have a single bad fighter with bad design, annoying or with broken gameplay. So that's it gamers. This is my top 10 favorite arcade games. Now it is your turn. Please let me know in the comments the ones that you love the most. As always, I hope you liked this video and I hope to see you next one. Take care.